Hello, fellow educators and school-based staff. My name is Amanda Blankenship, and today I will be presenting to you a project-based learning unit that will be effective and engaging for the students in your classroom. In this video, I will give you an overview of the project-based learning unit, the grade level that it is intended for, and the subject area that it covers. I will explain why this project-based learning unit is engaging for your students and how it increases student cognition. I will describe how the project-based learning unit will challenge your students and include the levels of Bloom's taxonomy that are incorporated. And finally, I will justify the learning that the students will have when the unit is complete. Let's begin. This project-based learning unit is intended for kindergarten students and covers skills necessary for English language arts. Through this project-based learning unit, your students will practice their story retelling, character identification, locating of key details, and reading comprehension skills as they complete this unit. This project-based learning unit focuses on the well-known story of the Three Little Pigs. Students will hear 3 different versions of the story and use each version to determine conflict between the pigs and the wolf, how the conflict could have been resolved, and discovers ways that the pigs may have actually been at fault themselves based on the materials that they used to build their home. After much discussion, classmate collaboration, and exploration, students will design their own homes that will be strong enough to stand against the big bad wolf using various hands-on materials and different levels of testing. This project-based learning unit is engaging to students as it dives into and promotes deep discussion about the characters of the story and the problem. Students are given the opportunity to discover problem-solving skills through the use of hands-on materials, the ability for them to create their own unique home designs, and collaboration with classmates. This project-based learning unit gives students a chance to interact with the story of the Three Little Pigs in ways that foster their natural curiosity, motivate them to discover new answers, and strengthen their critical thinking skills. This project supports the development of critical thinking and problem solving as students demonstrate their understanding of the story and use that information to reasonably discover ways to build the strongest house. Teachers could ask questions like, what materials could they possibly use that the pigs didn't use? How will those materials be bonded together? Or maybe, why are some materials stronger than others? Students will need to apply critical thinking skills to answer these questions and ultimately build a strong home. Students will be challenged to use the information from the book to solve the problem and keep their home standing. Students will test different materials and decide which are the strongest, work with their classmates to share ideas, and engage in discussions involving real fault. For example, were the pigs to blame for using weak materials in the first place? Did the pigs build their home too quickly with no consideration? And can the wolf really be to blame? The levels of Bloom's taxonomy are incorporated throughout this project-based learning unit. First, students will need to recall details from this story as they compare and contrast, share ideas with classmates, and build their home. This is the first level, remembering. Next, students will need to understand the concepts, such as stability as they build their home, or fault and conflict when discussing with classmates, meeting the understanding level of Bloom's taxonomy. Next, students will need to be able to apply what they've learned as they use materials to build their home. This is the applying level. Next, students will test materials to use on their home throughout the process of designing and building, which meets the level of analyzing. Next, students will determine if their design and home building was strong enough to stand against the wolf and revise their plans as necessary, which meets the evaluating level. And finally, the creating level. Students will build their home based on their design and describe how the story would be different if the pigs had used the design that they had created. After completing this project-based learning unit, students will have demonstrated their reading comprehension skills by understanding the story elements such as key details, characters, settings, and plots. They will have applied critical thinking skills, enhanced their ability to collaborate with classmates, and developed their problem-solving skills. This will not only be shown through observing their collaboration and discussions with classmates, but will also be evident as their home stands against the big bad wolf, who maybe your students decide wasn't to blame after all. I hope you and your students enjoy this interactive and fun project-based learning unit. Teachers, enjoy seeing your students engaged and getting creative in the classroom as you foster their natural curiosity and love for learning. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day.